Hello, I'm Jim Rohn. If you've ever felt confused trying to understand an avoidant person, especially when they start to feel real emotions, you're not alone. We've all wondered, are they truly falling in love or just going through the motions? They go silent, they keep their distance, but sometimes there are those vague signals that leave you questioning what you're actually seeing. And that's exactly what makes a relationship with an avoidantly attached person so elusive. In today's video, I'll take you deep into the inner world of avoidant individuals, what they do, what they say, and most importantly, the real signs that show they're beginning to fall for you. You might be surprised because those signs don't come from grand words, but from very small actions, yet emotionally significant. If you're looking to better understand your relationship or simply want to learn how to read these complex attachment styles, then you're in the right place. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the next videos on the journey of attachment psychology, where we explore how people love, fear, and connect. Let's begin. Love, as expressed by those with avoidant attachment styles, is often filtered through a unique lens, a lens that blends intense emotions with the fear of being hurt. As a result, the way they communicate their affection to others often comes with caution, even withdrawal. Over the years of listening to clients, students in classes or workshops, I've realized something interesting. When they start to face deep emotions, their inner stories gradually unfold. For instance, people with avoidant attachment often communicate very briefly, as if trying to pour an ocean of emotion into a small cup. They might confess, "I really feel a lot for that person," but when it comes to expressing it, the fear of being exposed makes them withdraw. Every word, every gesture seems tightened by an invisible string, making what they want to convey feel stifled and sometimes hard to understand. It's this tension between love and fear that creates such an intriguing communication landscape to explore. In private conversations with me, when they don't have to face vulnerability in front of their partner or worry about my reaction, they often open up deeply. One might say, "I'm really in love. This feeling is completely new. I can't imagine life without that person. But at the same time, I'm afraid this relationship might fall apart for some reason." These words are filled with emotion, like a river flowing endlessly. But when I ask how they shared this with their partner, the answer becomes surprisingly simple. They say, "I said I'm really happy in this relationship." I ask again in surprise, "What about those intense feelings you just told me?" They respond, "Well, I did say that, but in reality, what they communicated was vastly condensed." Avoidantly attached people often don't realize that unconsciously they've placed a filter over their emotions. That filter is like a thin veil, holding back what's most genuine and only letting a few drops of the emotional ocean they truly carry inside slip through. This contrast is truly a fascinating thing to reflect on. The invisible filter in the minds of avoidantly attached individuals is like a narrow doorway guarded by the fear of being hurt. It is formed from deeply ingrained subconscious programming, causing their genuine, intense emotions to be restrained when expressed outwardly. Instead of letting the heart speak freely, they often choose to wrap their feelings in safe, gentle words. This creates an interesting phenomenon. When love begins to blossom and emotions surge, their way of expressing it becomes surprisingly simple. For example, when they are truly in love and start to feel deep emotions, you'll notice they talk more positively about the relationship. Phrases like, "I'm really happy in this relationship," or "I feel so lucky to have you," often come out of their mouths. These are not random words, but familiar phrases that have almost become their instinct. At first glance, they sound sweet, but if you look closely, they are like sugar-coated candies, beautiful, pleasant, but not fully revealing the real flavor inside. The strange thing is, while their hearts may be churning like ocean waves, what they express feels like a gentle ripple on a calm lake. They're not intentionally hiding, it's simply that the subconscious filter has done its job, holding back most of what is deeply felt, leaving only a few easy-to-say, easy-to-hear words. This contrast between a stormy inner world and soft outer expression creates a unique charm, both endearing and challenging in the way they love. It makes us wonder, What would happen if one day that door swung wide open, allowing the full wave of emotion to pour out freely? The way we love not only influences our words, but also seeps into our most intimate moments, such as sexuality. For avoidantly attached individuals, physical intimacy is not merely about connection. It is also a playground filled with mixed emotions. They may crave closeness, but at the same time, the fear of being hurt silently governs, causing them to build invisible walls even in moments that seem free of distance. When in love, they often carry a passionate heart, yet their expression is like a cautious dance. This becomes even more evident in sexuality. They may be deeply passionate, incredibly alluring, but deep down they always keep a part of themselves held back, never fully surrendering to the experience. Like someone standing at the shore, wanting to dive into the refreshing water but afraid of being swept away, they participate while holding back. This is not due to a lack of desire, but because their subconscious warns them that too much closeness might cause them to lose control, something they are always striving to maintain. On the contrary, when they feel safe, unthreatened by vulnerability, sex can become a doorway through which they reveal their true selves. Those moments are rare but beautiful, like a melody that only plays when all fears dissolve. They may not speak much, but their bodies can tell stories that words never reach. However, to reach that point, they need a patient companion, someone who understands that behind the coldness is a heart learning to open. Interestingly, it is this tug-of-war between longing and fear that makes the link between avoidant attachment and sexuality so unique. It's not just about the physical, it's an inner journey where every touch can be a whisper of trust. For them, sex is not just about love, but also a way of facing themselves. Mysterious, alluring, like a riddle waiting to be solved. Next, I want to share with you a very interesting part about the issue of connection through sex with someone who has an avoidant attachment style. Sex is often considered one of the deepest ways for humans to connect with each other. But interestingly, not everyone uses sex to create attachment, especially those with an avoidant attachment style. They can be physically close to you, yet still maintain an invisible emotional distance. And if you've ever felt we are close in body but distant in soul, then it's very likely you're connecting with an avoidant person. Avoidantly attached individuals often grow up in environments where expressing emotions is not encouraged. They learn to be independent early on, to regulate their emotions on their own without relying on others. As a result, in adult relationships, they often struggle when faced with real intimacy. This is very evident in sex. For them, sex can simply be an act, not necessarily associated with loving emotions. They can engage in sexual relationships without feeling the need for emotional connection, or even use sex as a way to keep the relationship from becoming too emotional. Some avoidant individuals may turn to sex as a form of maintaining control. They may enjoy the feeling of being in charge, leading, but then withdraw the moment the relationship becomes too deep. On the other hand, there are also those who avoid sex altogether because subconsciously they fear that physical closeness will lead to emotional bonding, something they are not ready to face. A study by Fraley and Shaver 2000 showed that people with an avoidant attachment style often view sex as a more independent experience rather than a part of emotional connection in love. They are less likely to use sex to express emotions or to build long-term intimacy. That's why, in the same relationship, an avoidant person can make their partner feel abandoned in their very arms. In contrast, people with a secure attachment style often use sex as a natural part of emotional connection. They are comfortable expressing, sharing, and using sex as a way to nurture the relationship. Meanwhile, those with an anxious attachment style are easily hurt if sex is not accompanied by emotional reassurance, and often use sex as a way to hold on to their partner's attention. When avoidantly attached individuals begin to fall in love, you'll hear them say things that seem simple but are very familiar. "I'm truly happy in this relationship. I feel lucky to have you." Or, "I've never felt this way before." These words become a repeated refrain, especially common with them. But the interesting thing lies here. What they express is only the tip of the emotional iceberg. Inside, they may be overwhelmed by intense emotions, but the fear of being hurt makes them hold those feelings tightly, especially with the one they love deeply, the one they feel has too much power over their heart. In a relaxed conversation when they are not facing their partner, they easily reveal a bit of truth. They might say, "I'm definitely in love with this person." No flowery words, no elaboration, but you can feel the certainty in their tone. They acknowledge love gently, as if just saying it is already a big step. But when facing their partner, everything becomes more restrained. They choose phrases like, "I've never felt like this before," a way of expressing just enough emotion, but not enough to expose their whole heart. This contrast is like a fascinating game of hide and seek. With outsiders, they can casually reveal a small part of their inner world, but with the person they love, they're like a skilled magician, only revealing a few tricks without exposing the full performance. The reason is not that they don't feel deeply, but because they fear that if the other person sees everything, they will lose their final layer of protection. This contradiction between the desire to love and the instinct to protect creates a unique way of expressing affection, both discreet and deeply alluring, making others want to explore more. Avoidantly attached individuals often live in a rich inner world, but when expressing themselves outwardly, they are like a book only slightly opened. They don't like to show off, so what you see is often just a small part, maybe about 30%, of what is truly going on inside them. The rest, deep and genuine, is kept hidden like a treasure they don't easily share, even when love has started to take root in their heart. As emotions grow, you'll start to hear them say gentle but meaningful phrases. For instance, they might say, "I really enjoy the time we spend together," or "I look forward to seeing you, I miss you when we're apart." To others, these may sound casual, but to them it's a big leap out of their comfort zone. These words, though simple, are like the first blossoms on a dry branch, rare, fragile, and full of charm. Another thing you'll notice is that they often say, "I don't want things to go badly." This sentence is not just a confession, but also a slightly open door into their past. For avoidant attachment styles, love sometimes ties closely with memories of abandonment or neglect. When they open up and feel close, the fear of being hurt rises again. To protect themselves, they choose to push others away, as a way to regain control over their emotion. For them, exposing their heart to someone who might turn away at any moment is like walking on a thin wire, both enticing and frightening. It is precisely this blend of the desire for love and the instinct for self-protection that creates the uniqueness in their way of expressing affection. They don't speak much, but every word they say is like a small puzzle piece, inviting you to patiently piece it together to uncover the full picture of their soul. A journey both strange and deeply enchanting. In the minds of avoidantly attached individuals, love is often associated with unpleasant memories from the past. Negative attachment experiences have quietly etched themselves in, like an old notebook filled with blurred ink stains. Therefore, when they begin to love and emotions rise, those old fears resurface as well, like ghosts from the bottom of a lake. You will hear them say, "I don't want things to go badly," not because they are pessimistic, but because they see love through a blurry lens, where behind every joy lies the fear that something bad is about to happen. This lens makes them love cautiously. This is the golden moment for their partner to step in. When they utter such words, it is a subtle invitation for an honest conversation. If you open your heart, ask about their needs, and encourage open communication, they will gradually realize that not all fears lead to dead ends. A warm dialogue can be like a key that opens the door they've always kept tightly shut. They will think, "Oh, so these worries can actually be resolved." That understanding not only soothes their heart, but also turns love into a less bumpy journey. But if no one seizes that opportunity, if communication continues to be tangled in silence or avoidance, they will fall into their own spiral. Seeing no way out, they begin to wonder, "What should I do now?" And then, as a natural reflex, they retreat, activating their self-defense mode to the maximum. They don't want to, but when fear is not soothed, the protective shell becomes the only refuge. This creates a love story, both sad and beautiful. They long for closeness, but are afraid of that very closeness. If someone is patient and skillful enough, they can help this avoidant person step out of the shadows, turning fear into a bridge rather than a wall. A vision truly worth dreaming about. Have you ever wondered why, despite trying so hard to love in a healthy way, you still repeat old painful patterns? Why are you constantly drawn to people who are not ready to commit? Or conversely, why do you feel suffocated when someone gets too close? The answer lies in a place we often overlook: the subconscious mind. This is the hidden control system, the place where limiting beliefs, past fears, and our habitual responses to love, intimacy, and connection are stored. Changing with logic alone is not enough, because what you know on the surface cannot override what you deeply believe inside. To truly heal and transform, you need to learn how to reprogram the deeply ingrained patterns in your subconscious, where beliefs like, "I don't deserve to be loved," "I have to be strong on my own," or "closeness is dangerous," are still silently guiding your behaviors. This process begins with awareness. Observe your emotions when the other person pulls away. Listen to the words you say to yourself when you feel unloved, and be honest about the fears you haven't yet dared to name. After that, you can begin to reprogram through simple yet powerful practices such as daily positive affirmations, "I deserve to be loved safely and gently," or rewriting old experiences into a healing version where your inner child is embraced and understood. Visualizing a healthy relationship every day is also an effective method, because when you start allowing yourself to feel safe in your mind, your nervous system also learns to be less resistant to real-life intimacy. Most importantly, you need to learn to listen to your true needs in a relationship. It could be the feeling of being seen, respected, free, or deeply connected. When you clearly understand what you need, you no longer seek love to fill a void, but begin to build a relationship from inner wholeness. And that is when you not only heal yourself, but also help your loved one understand themselves more deeply. Because when you learn the language of the subconscious, you also begin to understand the heart of others more gently. And that journey, though not easy, is always worth it. In the next section, we will explore more deeply how to maintain lasting connection between two seemingly opposite attachment styles, avoidant and anxious, so that you can build a love that has both freedom and safety. And if you're wondering, where do I begin? Then start with the smallest things, because sustainable change doesn't come from big pushes, but from gentle habits repeated each day. Below is a simple practice toolkit that I often share with my clients, small steps that can create profound inner transformation. Subconscious Belief Awareness Journal. Every day, spend 5-10 minutes writing down the thoughts that arise when you feel unsafe in a relationship. For example, "I'm afraid they will leave," "I feel I'm not good enough," "I don't dare to express my true feelings." Don't try to fix them right away, just recognize and record them. You are learning to listen to yourself in a way you never have before. Inner connection questions. Before every intense reaction, anger, withdrawal, jealousy, avoidance, pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this reaction really coming from the present or from a wound in the past? What does my inner child need right now? These questions help you break the chain of automatic responses and bring you back to a state of awareness. Rewrite old patterns, create new patterns. After identifying a limiting belief, try to rewrite it in a positive present tense. For example, from "I don't deserve to be loved" to "I deserve to be loved fully, gently, and sincerely." From "closeness takes away my freedom" to "I can be intimate and still maintain healthy boundaries." Healing visualization exercise. Every night before sleeping, close your eyes and imagine yourself in a safe space where your beloved one is present, listening to you, without judgment, without pressure. Let your mind become familiar with that feeling, so next time when someone who truly loves you comes close, you no longer push them away. Listen to needs instead of controlling others. Whenever you feel discomfort due to the other person's behavior, ask yourself, what do I really need? Is it to be heard, reassured, or to feel free? When you understand your core needs, you will gradually release the need to control and instead learn to communicate in a mature and connected way. These practices may be small, but if you persevere, they will open a new path where you are no longer a victim of old patterns, but the guide of your own emotions. And that is also the greatest gift you can give to yourself and to those you love. We've just gone through a profound journey from understanding the subconscious mind, the limiting beliefs hidden deep within, to ways of reprogramming behavior and identifying true needs in relationships. Wherever you are on your healing journey, remember this: transformation begins with awareness, but true change comes from small daily practices. And the wonderful thing is, you are fully capable of giving yourself the healing, safety, and love that you truly deserve. Thank you for spending time listening and accompanying me in today's video. I hope these sharings have brought you a new perspective, a small ray of light, enough for you to begin a gentler dialogue with yourself and build deeper relationships with those you love. If you found this content helpful, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss upcoming videos on attachment psychology, inner healing, and the art of deep connection in love. And I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below sharing your feelings, questions, or the part that resonated with you the most after watching this video, because your sharing might also become a source of inspiration for others on their own journey. Once again, thank you so much, and see you in the next video.